Hello. Welcome to a Rockbot class. Today we're going to look at database manipulation, and in this example, we'll see how to work with PostgreSQL. Alright, let's take a look at our database here in Postgre. We can see that db_test, which is our database, doesn't have an associated table. So, we're going to make the connection. Here we can see that we have all the terminals, the host name, the port, the user, the password, and the associated database. I'm going to connect, and as we can see, the response I get back is true. It has connected successfully. We can verify this. And then we're going to create a table. In this case, we're going to create a table called employees, and it's going to have this series of columns with their, obviously, data types, right? And where we're going to automatically set the columns to be name, position, ID, salary, and date in this case. Alright, let's create it. It gets created perfectly and we can see. Let's go over here to tables. If we refresh, we know that the employees table is already created. If we look at all the data, we'll see that there's the ID column, the name column, position, salary, and hire_date, just as we set it up. Alright, let's go back here and insert a query. Here we're going to do an insert on the table we just created with the different columns and the values. In this case, we're going to enter the first row. Let's execute it, and when we do, we'll be able to see that the data has been loaded correctly. Here we can see that we've already created the ID, Juan Perez, developer, the salary, which in this case we set to 50,000, and the date that we assigned. Alright, now let's enter another one. In this case, it's going to say employees, then values, Rockbot, level 2 course, a value, a salary in this case, and the date as well, but not today's date like we used before, but tomorrow's date. In other words, we put 0416. In this case, 0415 is today, and 0416 will be tomorrow. If I run it, we'll see that for now, nothing happens. I go over here, right-click, hit refresh, and then we'll go check the data again. Now number 2 will appear, row 2, Rockbot, level 2 course in position, salary 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and tomorrow's date. Now, what happens if I want to modify any of these data? Alright, let's go to modify record, which is what the query is called. It's the update, where I tell it, well, update, the table, the name of the table, and set. Well, in this case, salary, we're going to set it to 60,000, where the name is Juan Perez. Obviously, if there happens to be another Juan Perez, another record with the name Juan Perez, you can add an and automatically include another type of another piece of data. For example, in this case, we could add an position. In single quotes, we put developer. But in this case, since there's only one, it's enough to just put one. So look, Juan Perez here has 50,000, and when I run this query now, well, we'll see it in a moment. I just have to refresh, and we'll see that Juan Perez has been updated from 50 to 60. With this we can modify records, and finally, if we specifically want to delete the Juan Perez record, we run the statement that says delete from followed by the table name, where, again, the record exists with the name Juan Perez. So here I delete it. I'm going to refresh the table here and check the data. And now that record has been automatically deleted, and only the record with the name we created, Rockbot, level 2 course, and all the other data remains. Alright, after that we can close the connection, and we've finished this small example with Postgre. I hope this was helpful, and I'll see you in the next class.